A hush fell over Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on what should have been a routine morning. In a single heated exchange, an airline gate agent told a black woman she was too ghetto to board. Those words, though spoken with an almost casual sneer, reverberated like thunder through the terminal. Passengers froze mid-step, unsure if they had truly heard what they thought they did. That moment would ignite one of the most dramatic corporate takedowns in aviation history. The airline had no idea that the woman they had publicly humiliated would soon uncover a web of internal corruption that would bring them to their knees. Ariana Lewis, a software analyst with a small but promising startup, had faced her share of challenges in the tech world. Her determination had helped her survive professional setbacks and personal losses, all while raising two teenage sons. That morning, she arrived at the airport bound for Seattle, where she was scheduled to present at a prestigious tech conference. Wearing a smart blazer over her jeans, Ariana looked every bit the professional. She had spent months preparing her presentation on a new data analytics tool that she hoped would open doors in a field where she was often the only black woman in the room. Boarding a flight to Seattle should have been the least remarkable part of her journey, but the day's trouble began subtly. At the TSA checkpoint, she noticed agents' eyes lingering on her longer than necessary. Still, she passed through without incident and made her way to Gate 29. There, she grabbed a coffee, found a spot to charge her phone, and mentally rehearsed her opening lines. The digital board indicated a delay, but she stayed composed. When boarding finally began, Ariana joined her group with her boarding pass in hand at the front. A gate agent named Karen Simmons scanned Ariana's pass, then paused. "Where are you going?" she asked, as though Ariana's ticket didn't clearly read Seattle via Denver. Ariana replied politely. Karen looked her up and down, then leaned in and said, "Ma'am, I don't think you're in the right group. And frankly, you've been a little loud. We can't have disruptions on our flight." Ariana blinked, stunned. She had exchanged a polite greeting with another passenger, but had otherwise been silent. "I'm sorry, but I haven't been loud. I'm just standing here like everyone else," she said. Karen rolled her eyes and said, "This flight is full. You can wait for the next one, but I'm not letting you board if you're going to bring that kind of behavior on the plane." "What behavior?" Ariana asked, trying to remain calm. Karen leaned closer and whispered, but loudly enough for others nearby to hear, "I can't have someone who's acting all ghetto on my flight." The word hit Ariana like a slap. Shocked murmurs rippled through the nearby passengers. Some took out their phones and began recording. Ariana's heart pounded, but she refused to back down. "Excuse me," she said firmly. "You cannot speak to me like that. I've done nothing wrong. I deserve to be treated with respect, just like every other passenger." The gate agent tried to wave her away. "Please step aside, ma'am. You're causing a disturbance." "I'm not going anywhere. I want to speak to your supervisor," Ariana demanded. Soon, a supervisor named James arrived. Ariana recounted what had happened. Karen interjected with claims that Ariana had been aggressive and disruptive, but nearby passengers supported Ariana's version. James, seeing the phone's recording and sensing a public relations disaster, tried to defuse the situation. "We can book you on a later flight, free of charge," he offered. "I have a conference to attend," Ariana said. "I can't be late. If the gate agent flags you as a safety concern, I can't override it. It's policy," James said. Ariana, holding back tears, said, "I'll find another way to Seattle. But I'm not letting this slide." She turned and walked away, the crowd parting around her. What neither she nor the airline realized was that this was the beginning of the end for Aerosjet, the airline that had so casually dismissed her. Social media exploded within hours. Videos of the incident spread rapidly. Hashtags like #2Ghetto and #BoycottAerosjet trended across platforms. Ariana posted a selfie with red-rimmed eyes but a determined expression. Her caption read, "Denied boarding at Aerosjet after being called too ghetto. I just wanted to get to work. I won't be silenced." Public outrage built quickly. Support poured in. Civil rights groups reached out. Reporters flooded her inbox. But Ariana knew that tweets alone wouldn't bring justice. She needed evidence. That's when she received a message from an anonymous Aerosjet employee. I have internal emails that prove this isn't an isolated case. Are you willing to go public? The emails arrived gradually. They revealed a pattern of behavior. Coded language used to justify profiling, instructions to label vocal passengers as disruptive, and systemic strategies to avoid letting certain demographics on board. Ariana partnered with civil rights attorney Michelle Grant, who had a reputation for dismantling corporate racism. They coordinated with journalists, ensuring the evidence was presented responsibly and the whistleblower's identity protected. Ariana also declined a hefty settlement from Aerosjet that included a non-disclosure agreement. I'm not for sale, she told Michelle. The final piece came in a massive zip file. Emails from Aerosjet executives discussing how to maintain brand integrity by quietly denying service to passengers who didn't fit their preferred image. The documents were damning. Soon after, a major newspaper ran a front-page story titled, "Leaked Emails Reveal Systemic Racism at Aerosjet." The airline's stock plummeted. Boycotts followed. Corporate clients canceled contracts. Protesters gathered at company headquarters. Government agencies launched investigations. Ariana testified before Congress. The Department of Transportation opened a formal inquiry. The FAA considered revoking Aerosjet's licenses. The airline's leadership tried to save face with hollow apologies and promotional campaigns, but it was too late. Public trust was shattered. In court, Michelle Grant presented the emails. Ariana shared her story. Other victims came forward. A former HR manager confirmed that discriminatory practices had been normalized within the company. Eventually, Aerosjet filed for bankruptcy. Their assets were liquidated. Employees lost jobs. But Ariana knew the collapse wasn't her doing. It was the natural consequence of a toxic system collapsing under its own weight that Ariana's own life transformed. Her startup received funding. She became a speaker on panels about equity in tech and corporate ethics. Though the scars remained, she had found purpose in advocating for others. She received letters from former Aerosjet employees, some apologizing, others thanking her for the truth. One wrote, "It was an open secret. You were brave enough to do what none of us could." Years later, the phrase "too ghetto" was no longer just a slur. It became a symbol of arrogance exposed, of justice demanded, and of a woman who refused to be silenced. Ariana Lewis never boarded that flight, but she took off in ways the airline never imagined. And in doing so, she changed the course of an industry and reminded a nation of the power one voice can hold when it refuses to be quiet.